Hello, everyone. Welcome to Black Nerds Matter. Today, we're thrilled to introduce D'Karia Bascom, a senior at North Carolina A&T, majoring in laboratory animal science. D'Karia is an emerging scientist with a deep passion for marine biology and has conducted fascinating research on coral reef ecosystems through the Diversity Project at UCLA. She's also a community advocate, having worked with South Carolina Sea Grant Consortium to educate the public on the impacts of climate change. What's up, DK?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. This is so
Yeah,
cool.
I'm glad you're here. You look so good. You look so cute. I'm happy to see you here.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, so you ready to get into questions? You feeling all the jitters out? Feeling good? You excited?
Yes, the jitters are in the background for right now. I think I got it.
Okay, let's keep them back there. Let's not let them get any closer. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So DK, where did you grow up and what was family life like for you?
So, I am a military brat. So I was originally born in Pensacola, Florida. And then after that, my family and I kind of moved a lot of different places. But where I say that I grew up now is Kansas City, Missouri. Go Chiefs.
No
Um,
way.
Yeah, so I grew up in Kansas City. Even though I had that experience with being by the water when I was little and having access to the ocean and sort of like marine life, I really didn't have that growing up in Kansas City because it's a landlocked state. So when I
Yeah,
got there, I really wasn't close to anything. So I kind of had to improvise by just watching documentaries and reading books and dreaming about being by the water again. So it was nice growing up in Kansas City. I really loved it there. It's just cold. That's the only thing. But I think that my path from going from Kansas City until now is crazy because it's such a stark difference from like what I do now. I went to community college in Kansas City. So I went all the way to community college and then I ended up in North Carolina after COVID happened. So, yeah.
that's so interesting. I'm just like I had no idea you were from Kansas before because my family's actually from Kansas. So I've been there
Really?
a lot. They're from Kansas City, Kansas side. So you said KCMO and I was like,
Yeah.
boo.
Whoa,
But
whoa, whoa.
but yeah, I moved a lot too because I was born in Orlando and my family's from Kansas, so I can totally understand going there. I mean, is the Mississippi River not enough for you? You don't want to be in that?
No, thank you. Rivers scare me just a little bit. I choose not to indulge in that. No, no thanks.
Yeah, it's interesting. You're like the second marine scientist on the show that is from Kansas. One of my best friends who's on the second episode of this was from Kansas too, and he was just saying, "I just wanted to get to the water. I wanted to get to the water so bad." So yeah, speaking of Kansas, and you saying you wishing you had these kind of things, did you ever travel from there and go visit the beach or visit the ocean during your time living there?
Yeah, so I did. I definitely did. My my dad's side of the family is still in Pensacola, so I would be able to go visit that way, but really and like of course if going for like family vacations and stuff, we would end up going to Pensacola. But I never it wasn't until like recently that I kind of was starting to go towards like the coast to go do like marine science stuff or early career stuff. So it's always been yeah, it's always been just for family stuff really. Nothing leisure or like for career. Yeah, cuz it's so far away.
No, I totally get it. I feel like it's really hard, and I feel like especially when I spent in Kansas, people weren't very as environmentally conscious as they would be in other places. Just because, I mean, nobody's really going to Kansas to see the landscapes. I mean, unless you're going to the Flint Hills to watch
Yeah,
tumbleweed. You know what I mean? That's about as
not
close as
too
you're getting.
much.
Hey, my family's from there. I think I have a card to speak on it. I'm not gonna hate too bad, but I'm just saying. Like I was even there this summer for some research and was like,
Really?
damn, I'm in Kansas.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it's like it's a love hate. Like there's some really cool stuff in Kansas City, but it's also like, oof, Kansas City. Like the only time I think I would ever go back is when we win the Super Bowl again, of course. So
Yeah, my dad will love that you said that because he's a huge Chiefs fan. But for me, it was crazy because I came like straight from Indonesia, flew to Kansas, and was like, "Damn, this is not the same. It's not
no,
the
it's
same. It's
not.
not the same. It's not the same."
Not at all, no.
So I know you're going to HBCU, and what made you decide to transfer from your community college in your town to an HBCU, like on the East Coast?
So, after graduating in 2021, I got my associates, and I had found out that I was actually behind because once I graduated with my associates, I went to Wingate University, which is about like an hour and a half from Charlotte, and I was going into environmental sciences at first, but once I got
Hmm.
there, I realized I didn't have all of like the prerequisite classes,
Oh,
and
okay.
it wasn't until then that I realized that my advisor at my community college kind of messed me over a little bit. When so since I was little, I've always wanted to go into marine science. I know that this was the field I wanted to go into. And since around like eighth grade, I knew what school I kind of wanted to attend at that point. So once I went to community college, I had told my advisor, like, hey, this is what I want to do. This is the school I want to go to, the school I've always wanted to go to, which was Savannah State at the time. And she was like, well, no, STEM is too hard. Marine science is too hard. You're not going to be
Hmm.
able to do that. So I got you. We're going to put you on an easier track. So, me thinking my advisor wants the best for me, I was just like, okay, I trust you. And it wasn't until I graduated in 2021 that I realized that ooh, I'm behind in what I need to do. So got to Wingate and I was going in for environmental sciences and I just didn't really like it there. It's a PWI. It's a private school, but it's really, really small. And I did extracurricular activities such as like Stomp and Shake and like the Black Student Union to try to get more involved in campus, but I just didn't really feel at home there. So my mom, she was actually applying to NCAT to go back for her second bachelor's, and she was like, "You should just try it out. You should just apply and see, or go visit the campus to see if you'll like it." And I saw that they had a laboratory animal science track that I could go, and it's agriculture based, but I feel like it's transferable skills to anywhere you go. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna apply. So I went to the library at Wingate and I applied, and yeah, the rest is history. I went ahead and I got accepted, and I've been at NCAT since fall of 2022, and I absolutely love it. I do. Yeah.
That's wonderful. I heard you say stop and shake. Is that dancing or is that dessert? Like, what is that?
It's like it's cheerleading, but it's
Okay.
like the HBCU style cheerleading. And I did it at a PWY because they already had their own cheer team, but we
Hmm.
kind of made like our own like stomp and shake cheer team there. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Forgive my ignorance. I
No,
had no
you're
idea.
fine.
I hear you
You're
saying
fine.
like stop and shake. I'm thinking like steak and shake. I'm thinking like Sonic shakes and stuff. And I'm thinking food. I'm
You're
like, it's either food or
hungry.
dancing. And then I'm like, damn, I'm not even close. It's cheerleading. So, okay, shaking pom poms. I understand. Okay.
Yes, shaking pom-poms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad we're on the same page now.
Mhm. Got you.
So, outside of science, what kind of hobbies or interests do you enjoy that might surprise people? Where's the nerdy come out in DK?
Well, I have sitting up to the left of me I named him Bartholomew. It's my PS5 because I love playing video games. I've been grinding Elden Ring for like 2 years now and I'm only 50% done with the game.
No way. Two
Yeah.
years for half the game? Come on, man. You're not grinding.
Okay,
I'm gonna
wait,
let you
but like
keep going. I'm gonna let you keep going. I'm gonna
I
stop.
had
You
I
keep
had a
going.
little break. So I had a little break and then like I re-downloaded the game, but like my progress is saved, but I've been like more consistent, but I've had like 98 hours in the game and I'm only at 50%, but it's fine. I'm going to get there. It's fine. It's a big game, but so I really love Souls games. I love horror games. I really like watching like gamers play like on YouTube. So that's like a really big like nerdy aspect of me for sure. Um, yeah, that's like my biggest like nerd thing. Like I will play any kind of games on. I used to have a GameCube, PSP, DS, Game Boy, PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5. I got, gotta
So
stick with
do
it.
do people ever think of you doing that before they meet you? Like, do they see the lip gloss and nose ring and the locks and are like, yeah, this girl be on the game? Like, has anyone ever thought that?
No, and every time I have said that, they're like, "What? Like, what are you talking about?" Or like when people on Instagram would be like, "Oh, drop your PSN," I'll be like, "DK, da, 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 da." They're like, what do you know about this?" Or like I'll post like a picture of me playing. They're like, "There's no way." Yeah, people are usually shocked when they hear that I play games because I definitely apparently I don't give the appearance of I play video games. So yeah,
Mm. Sorry, you're not at home in your mama's house with cookie crumbs on your stomach and, chest hair and stuff. They're all like as people think they think of like the gamer, like the shut in, all that kind of stuff. I play a
yes.
lot of games as well, and I have like 400 hours in Elden Ring. That's why I was saying, yeah,
Ooh. Ooh, okay.
this game's for real. Like not just like this isn't for play. This is for real. This is to
Exactly.
do it for real.
No,
But so what?
mhm.
What other Souls games do you play? Because I play like Elden Ring, Sekiro, Dark Souls. Like I play like the whole thing because that's like my favorite genre for sure. That and Pokemon RPGs was my favorites.
Okay, so I'm gonna need to talk to you about all that. What system you got?
PS5. Come on now.
Great. We're gonna get into that later. Don't even worry.
Okay.
But, so like my first Souls game was like Bloodborne, but I didn't really
No
play it like
way.
that.
No
Wait,
way.
don't give me too much credit because I really didn't
Okay.
tap into it like that. I feel like Elden Ring is like really my first Souls game that I really like delved into. Um, but I used to play like I really love like either like Alien or but like not too Alien. I know it sounds weird. It sounds weird, but I don't like alien horror games, but that's a whole nother thing. But I used to play Halo when I had an Xbox. I used to love Halo,
Okay.
Halo Reach. Um I really love Skyrim. That
Mm.
doesn't count as a Souls
Mm.
game, no, because it's not there
No, but
just
that's good gaming though. Yeah, I respect it. I respect it.
okay.
You're not
Thank
playing
you.
for real. You're not just gamer girl. I'm holding my controller. You bout it for real.
No, I be up in here stressed out. Stressed out. But yeah, I'll definitely be hitting you for recommendations, and you're definitely gonna help me beat. I cannot remember her name, but she got the red hair. And she has two forms. You're
Melania.
you're definitely gonna help me beat her. You're definitely gonna help me. Thank you
Oh
so
yeah,
much.
I got you. I got you. You just
Um,
gotta cheat. It is what it is. It's fine.
you
I
don't
mean,
even have a choice. Like you have to help me. You should have
I
never
got
told
you.
me. You should have never told me you go.
I got you.
Okay.
Okay. Well, let's switch gears a little bit. I don't want to lose everyone talking about our nerd talk. We can get back into it a little later, but
Gotcha.
I don't want people to be scratching their heads and like, damn, they're losing me right now. This is getting kind of hard. I don't know what's going on. These are a lot of words I don't understand. Um, so yeah, what's the next thing I want to say. So I know you were in TDP. I know you guys stole our project, but that's a different story. How was that experience for you in doing marine bio? Was that your first time doing marine biology full time?
Yes, I want to say this was like my first like really like hands-on experience in the marine science field. First, I want to say thank you so much for your presentation because that really did help us. Your guys' animations, mwah, chef kiss. Thank
I'm
you
sure.
guys.
I'm sure. Because it looked
Thank you
like
guys.
ours. And I was like, that looked like how I did last year. But I'm gonna let them rock because they did it better. But it was like, okay.
Thank you. We appreciate you so much. But
Yeah.
that was definitely like my first big thing that I've done, which is I feel like post TDP, I'm all like, dang, like how can I top that? Like how can I, do something even more great than that? Just because I was able to do something I genuinely love. I was crying like every week just because of like how much I love being there. But just like really being able to be out in the water, and it actually brought me closer to what I want to go into for like grad school, like because
Hmm.
I've been all over the place as far as like how can I narrow this big umbrella of stuff that I want to do down to something a little more specific, a little more doable that I can apply to like my knowledge and like however I want to use that as far as like applying to different labs or networking with people. Like, what can I tell them that I really want to do so then they can help me get to like the next step? Because I never really knew what I wanted to do, but I think that that experience definitely helped me get to that point. I can proudly say.
And for me, this was like the best thing about it, and I'm sure that you probably agree to this to an extent, but for me, it was finding that whole group of Black scientists like in the world because I had no idea. And when I was going to my PWI, I was like, "There's one other guy that looks like me doing this," but it was like all these people, all these like like beautiful Black people in the room doing the same stuff I'm doing, and I was like, "This is the kind of stuff I've been waiting for," and it was a
Mhm.
very different experience for me, and I thought that was the most wonderful part of it, especially when you're doing different things. The whole Black people don't do that stuff, whatever. Like I bet plenty of people from Kansas have told me that. I'm telling you right now. But like you swim with sharks, don't get killed. Plenty of people from
Yeah.
Kansas who have never seen like been in a lake or a river or like, what are you doing? And it's not something they've been interested in or had thought of before, but it's nice to see so many other people that look like you breaking those barriers and doing those things. I think it's really important.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I felt that way this summer as well. Just like you said, just seeing people who look like you that are in this field, especially as somebody who was told that this would be too hard for me, and me seeing people doing insane stuff that people would never even imagine we are doing. Because I feel like there's not a lot of like, there's people who are still like, you do what? Like, there's no way you do that. Like, there's no way you know how to scuba dive or, yeah. So I think that that was like the beauty of that program. It's just like really seeing that we do belong here. This is our space too, and we can do amazing research. And yeah,
So piggybacking off of that, how has your experience been with Black and Marine Science, BIMS, and how would you? Are you excited for BIMS week? You excited for Tidal Wave? Tell me how you feeling.
yes, I am stoked for BIMS week. So I would have never applied to TDP if I didn't go to BIMS week last year. And I was able to go to BIMS week because I was a part of the BWEAMS mentorship. And they
Hmm.
sent me and my mentor there. And it's crazy how just like life works out. It's just like a snowball effect. Because I applied for that mentorship when I was actually on a research vessel. So I was like in my little dorm and I was like typing, like applying for like the little mentor mentee. And then a few months went by later, and one of my mentors, she's actually a TDP alumni, and we had found out we were both going to BIMS week together, and we met, and she was telling me all about TDP and what we get to do. And she's like, "Yeah, you get to go to Maria. What? You get to go to where? Like, no, you don't. Like, because that's insane to just like hear somebody who looks like you with locks and is just like, oh yeah, I was in Maria doing research this summer. Like a black woman telling me that was like my eyes were like, there's no way. So I was able to I talked to some of the mentors in TDP and got the application. I applied during BIMS week because I was like, I'm not playing around. Like, I want this so bad. So, um, last year's BIMS week was so fulfilling and so just, oh, I can't even put it into words of just how many amazing people I was able to meet. And I was able to really expand my network with other Black scientists in different sectors, people doing stuff in Antarctica, people doing stuff in Hawaii, in Bermuda, in South Africa, and all like just from all over the world, in Brazil, just absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing, absolutely informative, and I'm so excited for this year because I will be able to meet even more people. I'm excited to meet some of the speakers that are coming, and as well as my tidal wave cohort. That's going to be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super psyched because we're in the same tidal wave cohort. It's cool to see all these different people. And I'm like I said, I'm excited to go there and speak and do like my whole thing. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun just to meet, just to see everyone and do this whole thing because I mean, you never realize how special and important these things are until you're in it because it's like, this is the type of stuff I would have killed for like as a kid to know about. And now that I'm actually doing it now, it's so fulfilling and so engaging. It makes me feel really proud to be a scientist.
Yeah, for sure. I just remember coming home and just being like, wow. Like how can like I don't know how I can top that. Like I don't know how that can get any better cuz I had came as soon as I got back from Bimswick, I had to go to Sickbee in Seattle and just like the
Hmm.
difference was just like black and white. It was just like, oh my gosh, like, these are two completely different like spaces and that cuz Bimswick was my first conference. Like my first
Oh, really?
conference
Okay.
experience. That was like my first like for real conference experience where like I'm there for multiple days and there's different, speakers, talks, seminars, all that. So I'm glad that that was my first experience because like now my standards are like a little not higher, but like I'm more comfortable, especially like going out and like reaching out to people and networking with people because now I know like what exactly to ask and how to maneuver that.
I mean, you real life just have to go up there and say, "Hi, like, hey, my name is this, and I'm interested in this. I want." And most people, like I said, scientists love to talk about themselves. I mean, I love to talk about myself, and I have people on here because I want to hear them talk about themselves. So you're like, "Hey, I like what you're doing," and they're like, "Oh, really? Like, I did this and this and this to do this. And if you want to do it, you can do this and this and this." And they're so many people are so willing to rattle off the list, and then if someone's not, then it's like, okay, they're not someone I should be associated with, and I can have someone else because I'm sure they'll be interested in showing me the ropes because, like you said, the whole snowball thing. You ask one person to do something, then you go somewhere else, they do something after something else, and it's just boom, 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 and you're like, okay, I'm actually getting some stuff going. And it was crazy for me too because I had felt like after TDP, I was going to a conference like damn near every other month, and I was like, dude, this is crazy. I was like, man, I ain't know I was about to do. I thought we was just going out there. I didn't think it would be 12 or 10 different events after the fact. I had no clue.
Yeah. Yeah, I heavy on that 10, 12 conferences. Oh my gosh, I kid you not, for like the next like 4 months, I have a conference. I'm excited though. It's great, but oof, heavy on that. But I think that like you said, just kind of giving that spiel about yourself. I'm still kind of perfecting it because I don't know if I've gotten to the point where I'm just be like, "Hi, my name is," like I have, but usually I got to be like, "Hey, do you know that person?" Because I think I'm gonna go talk to them, and then like I kind of need a little nudge before I go. But I'm hoping that um, for BIMS week I can let that all go because I have some cool people that I really want to talk to and network with. So
I love it's funny you say that because I feel like there's always two people at these kind of things. There are people who like gravitate towards people. They're almost like honeybees and they see somebody interested that has something they like, they fly over there. Hey, what's this and this? Other people are like a mule. You gotta like slap them in the ass and send, and then they'll run over there and talk to that person and get it going. And you're like, hey, that's the person you want to talk to, right? Yeah, go talk to them. Or come on, I'll talk to like I feel like I'm always the person that's telling people go talk to them. Like, come on, let's go over there. Let's talk to them.
I am the mule. I am the mule so bad. Like it takes a lot like for me to like approach somebody, especially if there's somebody that I've been like oh my god, I've been waiting to meet this person. Like my heart will be like, ooh, but I'm trying to
Ba-pum,
get
ba-pum,
better.
ba-pum.
Yes, I'm trying to get better because definitely the mule right now.
Okay. I wasn't gonna call you a mule. I wasn't gonna say it personally, me,
It's
but if you
okay.
said it, that's we'll let it be that.
It's okay. Yeah.
So I know you did some work with with the South Carolina Sea Grant, and I see that the work was in Beaufort. I know Beaufort and North Carolina. I've never been to the one in South Carolina. How was that experience, and how did that teach you to deal with communities and work in a scientific space?
Hey, yeah. So that was in the summer of 2022. That was my first ever internship, right? So I was super nervous. I was if you th I'm a mule now. I don't even know, like, what the stage is, like, before a mule, but, like, that stage is what I was in. Um,
You were
my
a rock.
Yeah, I was a rock. I was a rock. And my theme for that year I made for myself was getting comfortable with being uncomfortable because
Okay.
being in that situation was, like, a little scary for me, but going and reaching out to different communities and was really cool. I got to work with, like, the Gullah Geechee community and learn a lot about them and how, like, the sea level rise affects their crops, as well as other communities in Beaufort. I was able to write a like an informational I was able to help write like an informational like flyer slash website so that they can go on there and look at like the different things that are going on as far as like when these king tides are coming in, or
Hmm.
how they can advocate for, their infrastructure being damaged, and just like other information that is available to the public. I think that it was really cool being able to go out and talk, and but like also listen in, because I wasn't really talking face to face with a lot of people, but I was more so like attending like community meetings and sitting in with those with my mentor. So seeing her work was really cool, and it kind of got me out of my shell just a little bit, because my mentor, she had actually sent me to go to a symposium at the South
Hmm.
Carolina Aquarium. So nervous. She was like, "Yeah, go ahead and go represent. Go ahead and go represent us. Walk around, talk to some people." And I was able to talk to like a whole bunch of different people that were doing different things, like the Low Country Marine Network. I can't remember if that's the specific name, but they go out and they do like strandings and things like that. And then we had like a lot of other grad students in there with their PIs and just doing different projects. And I actually came across someone. Her name is Nia, and she works at the Hollings Lab in South Carolina. And I was able to connect with her and her advisor, and she was like, you should come down to the lab. I want to show you around. I was like, you sure? Like, whoa. So after that, again, that snowball is crazy. We have went She showed me around, and her and my mentor was able to actually connect, and able to connect because she wants to look at microplastics using this machine. So she wanted to see if there was like any way we could use it, because the machine is used for something else. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they were able to like connect about that. I was able to connect her with like the different communities I have worked with. So it was really cool. Again, I was still very much a rock, but from that internship, my mentor, Britta Jessen, I love her so much. She actually encouraged me to apply for like BIMs and MIS and BWEAMs, things like that, so that I can get more experience in this field, but also be surrounded by people who look like me, because Britta is not. She's a white woman, and she was like, I want you to be. She is, and she was like, I want you to be surrounded by people who look like you, so you can thrive in this field, especially like given what's happened to you, and the experiences you had back in Kansas City. So yeah, I think that that internship was super, super awesome, and definitely like me getting my foot in the door. That was my getting my foot in the door experience.
So
Okay.
representation, representation, representation. As a young Black woman in marine science, what are some ways you're excited to contribute to like diversity and equity in the field?
So right now, I think one of my biggest things I've been getting into is science communication, because as I've gone through these programs, and especially after this summer, where I've had like a lot of footage of me doing stuff that like the regular person would be like, "Whoa, like what are you doing?" And just like having a lot of people come up to me and asking questions. I think that I've wanting to do like more so, yeah, like I said, like science communication. So I have an Instagram that I am running separate from my personal, that is More so on the education side, but also kind of showing like what I do as far as like an early career marine scientist or like underwater researcher, because that's what we all are now. TDP, everybody from TDP, we're all underwater researchers. So especially coming from like my HBCU, where I'm right now, I'm the only person I know that's doing marine science because, like I said, people who are really in the animal field at my school are doing either vets, like vet school, or they're doing things on the farm. So going into like production or anything ag related. So I'm really the only marine scientist on campus. So I'll always have like a lot of people come up to me and like, "Oh, DK the mermaid," or like, "Oh, you always swimming with sharks." Like, no, I wish I was, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been on there a lot, and I've also been talking with some kids recently, the Mariners Explorer Club, and kind of showing them my journey into marine science so that that way I can help the generation that comes after us and kind of showing them why it's important to for like why it's important to have marine scientists, why it's important for conservation, and why it's important to have these kinds of things. And I'm also a mentor, so my first time a little
Ooh.
yeah, little like, oh, okay. Yeah, I have my mentee. She's also at NCAT and she's kind of doing the same thing I am, which is living a double life in a sense. Like I'm going to school for laboratory animal science where I'm on the farm castrating cows
Oh
and
boy.
watching people snap chicken necks. And then I'm
Oh boy.
also and then I'm also, in the water doing field work. So
That's very interesting when I think about that. I mean, I think you're doing great with that Instagram, by the way.
thank
I'm
you.
so bad. I was literally talking to somebody yesterday, one of my filmmaker friends, and he was just telling me about how it feels to record stuff and all that, and I cannot stand having a GoPro and recording stuff. I want to just be there and enjoy it. Like I'm so because for me, I see something cinematic, something that's just like beautiful and like auspicious as hell. And I'm trying to I'm pulling out my GoPro or whatever, and because they give when they let us borrow those cameras and stuff at TDP, and by the time I get my camera out and figure out all the settings, it's gone, and I'm like, damn, I don't even remember what happened. Like this, like I hope somebody got that because I didn't,
Yeah.
and I'm and like there's a story like I was telling before, but like I literally a camera when I was going back, a camera hit me in my forehead, and I literally have a scar on my forehead for like the rest of my life because of that, and that stopped my filmmaking photography days. I was done. But I'm glad that you didn't have that experience and you're able to sit there and really get those shots and, mermaid around and flutter and do the kiss underwater with your dive buddy and all that stuff because I'm like, man, somebody get a flick of me, I'll post it later. But I'm just out there having a good time.
Yeah, I also like to be in the moment as well. Like there's sometimes where I'm just like, let me put the camera away because I can sometimes by myself like, okay, let me try to get this shot. Cause like sometimes when I see people on Instagram, they go in the water with like a video planned and you can tell because they'll be like saying something like to the camera, like making motions that'll like go with their voiceover and something or go with their voiceover, but I can't do that. I kind of just do it on a whim. Like, let me just pull something out. And it's just like really what I've been uploading now is just footage I've been just sitting on. But I'm hoping that we go dive in San Diego when we go to BIMS week so we can get more. And then you can be on camera and we can get over the camera trauma you have from this, from when you did TDP.
I'm gonna keep it so real with you. Like so real. And I'm not like that sounds beautiful. That sounds fun. I'd love to dive with you. But I'm not diving there. I'm not gonna do it.
What?
Listen, 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 listen. I dove in Santa Barbara all summer.
Okay.
I like California water for me is cold and murky, and I can't see anything really. So for me, I'm kind of just in there, like freezing my ass off, and it's fun. Like it's fun. I get to see stuff, but people say like you go warm water diving, you never go back. Like I'm about to be that guy because for me, unless there's some whales or like y'all are like, we're gonna see otters, we're gonna see whales, we're gonna see something for sure. I'm like, yeah, I've seen kelp. Like it's not fishy.
See,
Like that kind of diving. It's not fishy enough for me. It's just all kelp. Like I feel like all I'm seeing is kelp and particles in the water. I'm like, yeah, I saw a Garibaldi, and a Garibaldi's like the California fish, like this
yeah,
big orange one.
yeah.
And you see them everywhere. And I'm like, okay, cool, a Garibaldi. I went on 15 dives and saw one shark. I was like, okay, like, and we're doing these are working dives, so like I'm
Hmm.
working and using my certification. But I'm just like, this is cool. And then I'm on the boat with the people, and they're like, yeah, so do you want another? Yeah, we're gonna have a fun dive afterwards, and we can record it. Do you want to come with? And I was like, no. And everybody's like laughing. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to go. Get all that, put on like 4 gears, like I'm feeling like the kid from the Christmas Story with all this stuff on, all these different
My goodness.
because you're putting on like two things. You're putting a hoodie on, neoprene, all this
Yeah,
stuff, and I'm like, bro, I'm feeling nauseous with all this on. And so if they pay for our dive, I'll be diving with you. But if not, I'm gonna save my little $200. Okay.
that's valid. That's valid. I'm hoping to go. I'm hoping they take care of us tidal wave. But if not, I'm hoping to go go dive somehow because I want to. The only thing that like I'm not looking forward to is the cold because when I tell you I caught an attitude so fast when we went to go dive at Catalina trying to
Like,
put that
yeah,
freaking that wetsuit on, I was ready to just like explode. I was like, I don't even want I was about to be like, I don't even want to dive no more because putting that wetsuit on, they now of course they warned us, but nothing could have
is
prepared me for that.
is not the same. Like I quite literally was like, if I took a diving job in California, I would do it because it's fun. Like it was like the best job ever because I was so tired, so worn out because I'm literally biking to the boatyard, then diving, and I'm out in the water for like 6, 7 hours, driving back like an hour, then biking back home. So I had the best sleep, best naps, like the best lunches and dinners
I,
of my life.
I
Like a
bet.
sandwich had never tasted so good in my life than when I was on the boat, sitting there with like my sandwich, my kiwi, and my kettle corn. Everybody knows I like kettle
Mhm.
corn and kiwis. I'm eating all that, and I'm like, man, this is the best meal I've ever had in my life.
I bet. I bet. No, because after I think I had took like the wetsuit off because we had lunch and we had a break. And they're like, okay, guys, we're about to go do a third dive.
Lord,
I didn't put that wetsuit back on. I
Lord.
didn't. I gave up. I was like, that's okay. Like, y'all have fun. But I liked it. The kelp was pretty. And we got to see the bass and
Y'all
um
saw bass?
we did. He was a
See,
big
we
oof.
ain't see all that, bro.
He
Like,
was huge. He was gigantic. I did not know they can get that big. Yes, he was gigantic. But no, I think the cold water definitely is not for me. I have a video of me going like this to my dive buddy because we had hit the thermocline and I was just like, okay, this is a little much for me. But yeah, no, I understand. I understand. It's
and
cold there.
do you want to explain the thermocline for people listening, or should I?
You can.
Come on, aspiring marine scientists. You do it.
So I'm gonna just explain it in simple terms.
There you go. That's what we need. Because I don't want
But
my mom and my grandma to be confused or listening to this. Like, what the hell is a
yeah.
thermocline?
So a thermocline is basically where you go a little deeper into the water. So I can't remember where I was. I think I was like 30 feet because I think our max was 50 feet. So we were about 30 feet, and then I had got to about like the 40-ish range, and it's like a layer of just really, 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 really cold water. Like really, really cold. Like a drastic difference between where you just were and where that thermocline is. Yes. In simple terms.
So it's the point when you mix oil and water together where the line is connected. That's what it is. It's where it feels different. Like you're
Hmm.
somewhere new.
Yes. And you can see it in the water. Yeah, you can see it. It's yeah, it's like you can it's weird. Like have you been able to like see it? It's like it's kind of like ripply.
Really, I've never looked at it like that. I just remember sitting there and being like, "Oh, it's cold," and just trying to move as
Yeah.
fast as I can to the next side,
It's
so
a
I'm
little
not sitting
ripply.
half and half.
Yeah, either I'm a little crazy or it's like a little ripply like when you go like when you kind of like are going through that, but yeah, it's like oil and water. Yeah, it's like the oil is absolutely don't go there. don't go there. And the water's like, okay, I can tolerate it. Like, cause my face
You
was
sure?
already freezing.
Yeah, you sure it wasn't cold shock? 'Cause you might have been making that up. Like, you sure you saw that?
Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm going crazy. I don't know. Cause all I know is like in the video, like you can see when I hit it, and I'm like, I'm like, no, we need to go back up immediately. Not immediately, but safety, but slowly but surely.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, for me, I with cold water diving, it's very much I will do it for work. I'll do it for free, but it's one of those things I don't know if I could ever pay to cold water dive unless it's like something um I can't not do. Say if I'm in like Greenland or Alaska or somewhere,
Ooh,
where I'm
yeah,
seeing ice and it'd be like something vastly different from what I've seen. Yeah. But do I think I'd ever pay for another trip to Catalina to dive?
that's
Probably
fair.
not.
That's
Like
fair.
I want somebody to be, hey, we're going for work and we'll just take you and we're got a tank for you, just bring your gear. And I'm like, hell yeah, that's what I'm on. But
That's fair.
I'm paying to be warm. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm about to be in there and all that, I want to see fish. That's my problem. If it was cold and there's a lot of fish, I'd love that. But it's just for me, it's just kelp, and I love fish and sharks so much. And in Maria, it was so fishy, it was so beautiful. And then
No.
I was in kelp, and then I was literally like, yeah, I know what I don't want to do in grad school because I knew this guy I was working with.
Mhm.
He's like, yeah, man, kelp is like my favorite thing ever. He's like, kelp, kelp, kelp. I love kelp, and I was like,
Yeah, I know a lot of people who really love kelp.
yeah, I was like, yeah, it's green. It's green and it's long and it's there and it's in a way that's cool. Like that's cool. And
It's in the
that just
wind.
you like is what you like. But that's not my jam.
Yeah, no, that's definitely understandable. Like again, I think I said like after Maria, I definitely want to do like tropical reef
Yeah,
ecology. Nowhere
yeah.
else.
You just like me because I'm like I haven't
Tropical.
dove in Florida yet and I want to now so
Ooh.
I can just see what it's like.
I think I definitely want to go and dive in Florida for sure. I heard it's absolutely amazing. Definitely on my to-do list. Hopefully get that done next year.
Yeah, it's just it's so hard to pay for diving once you do it for work and you're like it's so hard. It's so hard for me. I don't know what it is, but it's so hard for me.
Yeah, and I think that that's why I'm so grateful for like TDP and like other orgs that kind of pay for you to get like those experiences because
Hmm.
when I first wanted to get certified, it was like $1,000. Huh? Like you want me
Yeah.
to do what? And then what? You want me to And then like I got certified. So I was actually certified before I got to TDP. I had my open water through Patty and I did my checkout dives in a quarry.
Was yours through Patty?
Mhm.
Yeah, I had mine. Mine was through Patty, and I did my checkout dive in a lake.
In a lake, yeah, mine was
Yeah.
in a quarry. Um, it wasn't, too crazy, but I think my anxiety was really high because of the murkiness of the water.
Yeah,
Um,
just like
because
California.
yeah, I don't know because I didn't have that. Maybe it's because I was like fresh off of just diving every day, but I didn't feel that when we went to Catalina.
Mhm.
Um, but definitely was feeling that in a quarry. I know that's crazy, but yeah, and then I was like, "Okay, well" they're like, "Well, we got a scoot a trip we can go on, and you can go get, like, some dives there and, like, clearer water," and it's like, "Okay," like, "Yeah, that'll be $2,000."
Mhm.
"Oh, never mind."
Mm. Mm.
"Never mind. It's okay. It's fine. My gear can just sit in my closet. It's okay. It's
And
fine."
I think that's just such a huge barrier for people, especially people that don't live near water, because like I'm paying $1,000 to never use this stuff. And I was really lucky that my grandpa paid for mine because I was like I said I was very much the same boat where you. I'm like I always wanted to be a marine biologist, all that stuff, and I did it in the lake, and it was awesome. And I was like, man, I want to go again, but then I realized all my parents' vacations that we were going on, we were never going nowhere near someone. We were going places they wanted to go, but they
Yeah.
wasn't like we're gonna take 2 days to find a good diving spot for you. Like no one else is doing that, so we're gonna go to the theme park do like these other things. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that's just how it was. Like it made sense because I was like, I'm not even trying to take all that gear with me on the plane. Like it's so much.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and that's such a good point as far as, like, places because I've been, like, struggling, like, to, like, see if I should get my gear now or just, like,
mhm.
wait because, like, right now, I'm not diving in the Atlantic. I don't have any plans to dive in the Atlantic. I'm terrified to dive in the Atlantic. I feel like
Really?
that
Why?
I don't know. I feel like that water's murky. Like anytime I
Florida's
go
in
to
the
like,
Atlantic?
well, no, like the North Carolina. Like if I'm,
Okay.
yeah, like if I was to dive in like North Carolina, but I know like a lot of like the popular diving spots here, like the Cooper River to like go for like megalodon teeth, which is really cool. But I watched a video and it is insane. It's pitch black dark. Like once you get to like the bottom,
Ooh.
and like the current is like ripping by. No thanks, no thanks. But but I'm probably gonna wait till I'm settled because hopefully the plan is to come to California. We'll go to California and set up shop there. Probably go to school there and start doing some dives there, even though it's so cold. But it's okay. Got to start somewhere. I'd rather dive in California than in a quarry.
I mean, you're in the same boat as me. That's like my next thing I'm trying to do is get there and then go to school, hoping to go to like Stanford or one of those schools like that because I really
Mhm.
want to. I see how many people go to like these schools that have all this money and then they're able to go dive somewhere warm and live in California all the other time. And I'm like, that sounds awesome. I get to be in the
Yes.
warm water and have the Mediterranean climate. I don't have to touch the Mediterranean water. That's what
Mm,
I'm talking about because when it comes to California water, I'll go in there like to swim, but for me, it's more or less I want to be in there to swim or surf. I don't really because it's diving just it sucks it out of me. I had an hour and a half long dive there for work one time,
I
and
bet.
that was insane. I'm just sitting there like, boy, this is cold, and this is a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah. No, I feel that. I'm telling you, after two dives, I was like, nah, I'm just gonna sit out on the deck and eat. That's what I did. And I took a nice nap in the sun where it was warm. Yeah.
So, so I know you talk about your laboratory science and then doing marine science. Do you plan on ever blending those things together, or for you is it pretty much this is a means to an end, like this is a means to get into marine biology?
That's a good question because I've honestly been like thinking about that a lot. I'm like, am I really going to school for something that I even enjoy? And I feel like I'm not. Can I say that? Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm not going to school for something I'm passionate about. Like I'm not passionate about.
Killing chickens?
And no, not really. And like a vet, I don't really want to be a vet, but like I said here, like especially in my department, they really push production or just ag business or production. Production. I don't want to see animals getting hurt. So I think that I think that it's kind of like a I'm doing this to kind of make sure I'm getting those classes as far as like chemistry and biology, but I'm still also getting lab skills. Like I know how to work a microscope. I know how to do, stain. I know
Hmm.
stain like the slides. I know how to do, microbiology, all this stuff. I know how to handle animals with care and I
Now,
feel like
now we all killing them, huh?
wait, because I don't be doing that.
You had your lab
But
partner do that, huh?
oh my gosh, no, we don't do that. I don't do that. I don't even be like I'm not even present for stuff like that. Ooh. Yeah, no, I have stories. If you want to hear those, you let me know. I have stories for when us going
Okay.
to go visit the farm because no thanks. But yeah, I'm just not passionate about it, and I think that and I'm so grateful to my department because they really have been super helpful for letting me leave for BIMS week because BIMS week is usually around my finals week. Letting me go to stuff like BIMS week or writing me recommendation letters or highlighting what I did this summer. I got like a news article on the front page of like the NCAT website, highlighting what I did or letting me just kind of explore my marine science side, like while I'm also in school, because it's kind of hard to juggle those two because they're the same, but they're not. Like they're pretty different. Like I
So,
think that, like I said, they're definitely transferable skills, but to me, I don't know how I can connect those, especially with what I do now. So
so they made a marine science page for you?
it's like the NCAT news, like the
Hmm.
newsletter. So I was like featured in like the September newsletter. I like they interviewed me and everything.
Okay, newsletter. Okay, newsletter. Tell them.
Yeah,
Okay, Daily Times.
please, not daily time. But yeah. So definitely two different things. I feel like I'm, like I said, living a double life for sure.
So you never thought about like aquaculture or like when they do the fish farming stuff?
I tried that. Um,
Okay.
I did an internship for it, but I don't think it's for me. Kudos to people who do that. I just don't think that that's my sector. Because there's a science behind it, of course, but I feel like it's not research, like it's not like research based, which is kind of what I want to go into. So, but again,
Hmm.
kudos because that stuff is hard. I did oyster farming and
Oh
ooh,
boy. Are you a oyster or seafood person?
I am a seafood person. Oysters, it depends on how they're cooked. I've tried them raw, which is, I think it's just the texture that kind of throws me off, but they're they're okay, but I'm definitely seafood. You can, you know, mhm, I am definitely a seafood girl.
Have
But
you ever had uni?
that's the sea urchin gonads, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. You ever had it?
I have not had sea urchin gonads. I'm just kidding. I'm not, I don't know why I'm saying it like that. No, I've never had it, but I do want to try it. I do.
Okay, if they pay for us to go dive there, I'll get you some because I learned I literally was in Santa Barbara we found some, literally brought them to the top and they literally just crack them right there on the boat and people were eating their lunch. They'd have like a sandwich and grab a piece of the uni like the gonads from the urchin like right there, put it on their sandwich or put it in their pasta, mix it all up and eat it like
Oh,
straight up. It was
what does it taste
crazy.
like? What does it taste like?
I don't know how to describe it. Like it's the most strange thing ever because it's sweet, but also like salty, but it also like it's almost like a gusher where it's like like kind of like it's like making your mouth wet. Like I don't know how to explain how that like that like and you see that sounds weird, but that's what it feels like. If you had it, you know exactly what I mean because it's like it like bursts in your mouth almost. It's crazy how it is, and I have no idea how to explain it because when I had it, I was like, if this is all y'all had, I'd eat it because it's not bad. But would I ever go out and buy this? No. Like, I don't know why you're laughing. I'm serious.
I
I'm
know.
dead serious.
I can't wait to have this experience. It sounds very
Yeah. You
I'm
laughing at my
excited.
trauma. I'm gonna laugh at yours when you try it because it's
Oh my.
crazy. It's a crazy feeling.
Okay. No, I'm excited to try it. I also want to try lionfish,
Me too. I
which
think
was
that would be good.
which was crazy to see them in their natural habitat this summer. I was like, "Wait a minute." And I'm like, "This is where you're supposed to be. This is where you're
Hmm.
supposed to be at." Yeah. But I do want to try it. They say that they make like fried lionfish sandwiches. And for people who are listening, I don't want y'all to think that we just trying to cuz they like search lionfish and it's such a pretty fish. We know they're invasive. They're invasive to Florida. So super invasive. Super invasive. Don't need people think we trying to eat a pretty fish like that just for no reason.
So you mentioned seeing the black sea bass. What are the five coolest things you saw during your time diving in this last year?
So that definitely makes one of them because
Okay.
I just didn't realize how big they get because one of the people in my cohort, she actually did some work in Catalina with she does like a summer camp and she snorkeled and she showed us a picture of what they look like. And I'm like, "Oh,
Hmm.
they're not that big." I'm thinking, like two like a foot long. No. That man was as big as me. Oh my gosh, but I swam pretty
That
close to
man
it. It was it was as
could
big
have
as
been a
me.
mother.
You right. You right. You right. My bad. She was huge. But it was like sitting like getting its face cleaned by like tiny other little fish. It was really cute.
Ooh.
But it was gigantic and it started moving. And for some reason I have a fear of big fish. Sharks, no problem. But just the fact that like you're just that big, it's just a little creepy to me. Um, I didn't really like that, but so that was one of the things I saw. And then on the four reef dive, we did a 75 foot. We dropped to 75 feet, and we saw a lemon shark, huge,
Ooh.
really really cool. And then what else? That makes three. And then we got to do the sharks and rays, so we got to see like the black tip reef sharks and
Ooh, the
the
motus?
hmm and the
Yeah.
the stingrays, which was really cool, like swimming by them, just big old little pancakes. They're so cute. And the top thing that I think I definitely saw was anemone with clownfish on it. So
Mm.
Finding Nemo is my finding it is the reason why I started marine science, why I got into marine science because my family had like the TVs with the a truck with like the TVs like on the back of the seats,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
in the CD player was always marine, was always Finding Nemo. So every time the car would start up, the movie would just start playing, and they knew that if they took that CD out, like all hell would break loose with me. So that was really, I feel like, my starting point as to why I got into marine science. So Paul knew that about me, and one of the mentors for TDP. And we had just got done with like one of the dives with us learning how to do transects or something like that. And I had came up, he's like, DK, I want you to drop down. So I'm thinking I'm in trouble. I'm scared, I've only been on scuba for like maybe like 3 days. I'm like, dang, did I do something wrong? Ugh. So we drop down and there's like an anemone with two clownfish in it, and I'm like bawling like my eyes out underwater. And like Paul's like sitting there with this camera. He's showing me he's showing me like he wants me like how he wants me to, like pose next to it. And I'm just like, oh my God, like I can't believe like they're right here. I'm just like posing underwater, just like taking my rig out, like
Man,
yeah. So
you got like water on top of water. You got water on your eyes, then you have glass, then you got water on the outside.
yes, yeah, mask was foggy. I'm just like, like I'm so but yeah, that was definitely like the most crazy, not craziest, but like the most sentimental thing that I saw and coolest thing in my opinion. And then yeah, I wish I saw more sharks.
Oh, I love them. They're my favorite.
I love sharks.
So
I love
okay, so
sharks.
one last question for you. So what are some key goals you're working towards in your last year at NCAT, and how do you envision your future in marine science, whether grad school, moving somewhere else? I know we touched on it a bit, but I want you to elaborate on it.
So right now I'm planning, well, no, not planning. I will be graduating in spring of 2025 from North Carolina A&T. And after graduation, I am hoping to I'm going to take a gap year because for so long, again, I knew that I wanted to do marine science, but I had, like I said, like this big umbrella. And it wasn't until recently, like I mentioned earlier, that I was able to actually narrow that down. So now that I've narrowed it down, I feel like I need a little bit more time to kind of branch from that to now go explore stuff that's specifically in the field that I want to go into eventually, because the last thing I want is to hurry up, go to grad school, and then I don't really want to be in grad school for that specific field or reason. So I'm going to take a little bit of time off, just a year, and go do research. That's the plan. I'd like to go back to go the tropics to go do some more field work, as well as going and using like the time that I would usually be in school to possibly go do coral restoration, because those are the times that those slots are usually open, is in like the fall or the spring. So planning to do that. And then once grad school comes around, I'm hoping that I will know exactly what I want to go into and what lab that I want to apply for. And hoping to go to one of the UC schools so that I can be in California, because I went to California and I fell in love with California. It was really sad having to come
Hmm.
back to North Carolina. You know how I feel. You know how I feel. California is just a whole different vibe. It's just like, ooh. But also during this time of my break, I would like to take a lot of the advice that I got during TDP as far as grad school and apply that to starting to work on my like letter of interest, like a draft or like my cover letter, or brushing up my CV, my resume, practicing for the GRFP so I can have like a practice one so I can maybe tweak it when the time comes again. So just trying to prepare myself for the overall goal, which is grad school and moving to California, so that way it's an easy transition when I get there.
Perfect. I'm glad you shared that with us. I'm sure everybody's going to be excited to hear this when it comes out. It was so wonderful having you. Thanks for taking time to to come here. I know we had a bunch of technical difficulties and all of that,
Yes.
but I'm really happy that you made it. So thank you so much.
Of course, and thank you for doing this. This is an awesome platform for people like us to come on here and tell their awesome stories that a lot of people aren't able to, get out there. So I thank you for that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, my other research I do, that's all for personal glory. I'm like, I want to do this because I think this is awesome and I want to show people because I like this. And it's like, does this help the world in another way? Me knowing what sharks do and all that? Probably not, but I like it and I think it's cool. So that's what I'm going to study. But this is
Yeah,
really to give back to the community and to showcase other people's stories because if I'm doing some deep sea research, my community might never see no, that might not. They'll never see what's gonna happen from that and what's gonna be built up from that. And this is something I can always do to give back to people who either paved the way for me or help it or working with me to make it better for people after us. So thank you for being here.
of course.
Okay, and with all that, Black Nerds Matter is out. Thanks, y'all.